Let's begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Podcast76. I'm Ruskeydoo.
And I'm Grey.
Or should I call myself the legendary Ruskeydoo?
Now you've done it again.
This is not strictly Overwatch related, but I casually hit Legend in Hearthstone earlier today, which Micah will be sick of hearing. Because, okay, what happens is, we'll be on, like, our Skype or on our Discord, and all three of us will be there, and then there'll come a point when me and Grey want to play Hearthstone. Micah doesn't play Hearthstone. It's all a bit awkward at that point. And now I'm infecting our podcast with Hearthstone. Hey, Micah, how's it going?
You know what? We should just turn this into a Hearthstone podcast for this episode only.
I think we'd lose an editor.
Okay, fair enough. Let's not do that. I quite like Micah.
It's very convenient. I mean, you know, someone who can actually edit things well.
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
No, me neither.
Okay.
So, yeah, Overwatch.
Yep.
Cool. How you doing, Grey?
Yeah, you know what? I'm apparently still very ill. I actually went to the doctor today because I've got all these like swollen nodes under my skin on my face, and
This is more than this is more than our listeners want to hear. No one wants to hear about your swollen nodes.
Me. Well, it turns out that
No. When someone asks how you're doing, they don't actually want to know how you're doing. That's just a pleasantry. God. Well, carry on. We've started now. Tell me about your nodes.
Well, anyway, went to the doctors. It turns out I've got very swollen lymph nodes, and that's normal when you're really ill, and I'm still really ill.
Neck?
Neck, and actually what's really bizarre is there's one in between like my ear and my jawline.
Oh, yeah, no, I've had that, and yeah, that's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ugh.
Oh, God, yeah. Right, now, here's one thing, because I'm slightly pissed off with you, Grey, because you were ill, and, like, I happened to be just around, so I spent some time, and then I got ill, and clearly, over the internet, you somehow managed to infect me. Bullshit, that's what it is.
I'm like this, generally speaking, like, I can get furniture pregnant just by looking at it. I can get friends over the internet ill. I accidentally... What? That is a Blackadder reference.
Is it? Okay. I was like, is there a story behind that? Did you once have a chair which... I don't even...
Which just multiplied after I looked at it. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, so what's happened this week? Well, there's been an update. There is the nigh-unavoidable one-trick discussion, which has been exploding. There is the Dennis Hoelka Award. There is Honor and Glory developer commentary. There is Overwatch winning multiple joystick awards. And there is the Black Friday deal on Overwatch coming up.
Should we start with some patch notes?
Yeah, let's do it. Hit it.
So obviously the big thing about this patch is Moira is in the game. And she's being played by pretty much everyone in Quick Play. She's not in comp yet, is she?
No, not yet.
No.
Because that would be mad.
I agree.
Think they said it was going to be a week, I believe.
Still seems kind of short, but sure, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, there comes a point where it's like, look, people are never going to be ready for this. Let's just throw them in, right?
I suppose. Yeah, well, whatever. But yeah, Moira's in the game. Here's my little prediction for now from what I've experienced playing with her.
Yeah.
Her biotic orb is a little bit overtuned on the damage. And her heal radius is a little bit undertuned and will be a little bit frustrating. I expect them to tweak her by reducing the amount of damage on the orb and to extend her heal radius as compensation.
Yes, because how much damage can the orb do? Is
a lot.
300 or
something like that? But it can easily kill like a flanker by itself.
Yes, which is kind of nuts.
What's really nuts is actually just how fast it does it. Like, it can do something like 50 damage per second.
I saw an experiment where someone got a Genji to reflect one of the damage orbs, and the single damage orb charged Genji's ult in its entirety.
Really?
Yeah.
I do think that Genji gets faster ult charge from reflected damage.
Reflected stuff. It would make sense because it's kind of, pretty sweet move.
It is, but I'm not certain of that. It's something I've always felt happen, but haven't actually run the numbers,
Yes. I wonder how we could test that in a meaningful way. It's probably out there on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Anyway.
But yeah, is there anything that you've changed your mind about with Moira, or any new information you've had turn up?
No, I think what has come out for me is that a lot of people do find her to be very dynamic as a healer because of that always having something to do.
Yes.
I think what I've taken away is that she doesn't pair well with certain healers.
Oh, right.
I think that, like, Ana and Moira aren't a great pair, bizarrely enough.
Okay.
Whereas
Why?
I'm not certain. It's just a sense that I've had, like, because I've been picking Ana back up because she's had a buff in this patch.
Oh, right, and you haven't really...
And it's just been one of those things of, it's just been like, when I've also had a Moira, I've found that I don't have enough healing to do to build ult. That's probably a big part of it.
You don't have enough healing to do.
Yeah, because...
That's a pretty huge statement right there.
So, because of Moira's heal style... like, she wants to be... So when you've got Moira, she wants everyone to be grouped up, close together, so that she's healing all of them at once. Yeah. Essentially.
Well, surely you just husk one of your grenades in there and that's crazy.
Yeah, but she gets all the ult charge.
Oh.
Because
okay.
She heals crazy fast. She does the most healing in the game.
Well, when she has multiple targets.
No, I think her single target healing is the highest in the game as well.
No, surely not.
I think so.
Not without an orb. I'm convinced it's not. One of my takeaways this week was when the Moira's solo healing you, it actually takes a fair bit to get healed up.
Really? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. Okay, I mean, I don't have any numbers on this. It's just how it's felt to me.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just like, come on, Moira, heal me faster, goddammit.
You play big fat tanks.
Yes, I do.
Which healer do you think, aside from, I think Ana has theoretically higher burst heals.
Ana mashing the attack button is your fastest heal. Beside that, I think it's Mercy, isn't it?
No, Moira definitely out-heals Mercy.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely?
Yes.
You've got some numbers on that?
I'm fairly sure Mercy's something like 75 and Moira's 85.
Really?
Mm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll check out these numbers afterwards, but...
Yeah. But so what I'm wondering if what we're going to see eventually is like healer pairings. So you're like, oh, we get an Ana and a Lucio, or we get... maybe a Moira and a Lucio, because you get the massive heal and you can speed it to people, which can sometimes be like the real problem.
That makes a load of sense, just because if you have like a short-ranged character, you want them to be able to reposition faster.
Yeah.
Ergo, having a Lucio with a Moira. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, and like her shift is on relatively short cooldown, but like...
Also, if you're deathballing, Lucio's tight healing aura.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, right?
Okay, yeah, no, I'm down with that.
And then you might find that it's like Ana and Zenyatta, and then, but what you end up is like these interesting little pairings and group compositions that work around the two supports that you have. Yeah. And like that'd be super interesting for like pro level play.
It'll be awkward on ladder, because I'm going to throw it out there that if you have to start changing your DPS around what your healers have picked, people won't get that. The people who pick DPSs are not the people who...
No, here's what I think. No, I don't think that's how it'll work. What will happen is we'll have a Moira come up, and then the other person will pick Ana, and then we'll go, could you play Lucio or Zen? That's how I think it'll be. It will be the tanks and the DPS asking the supports to change just as usual.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
And then you said, oh, never mind. Okay.
No, that's why I said in pro level play. That's what I think we might see happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So other things that have happened.
Ana had her buff.
Yep.
Up to 70 damage from 60. Good stuff.
How's that feeling?
It's not feeling impactful yet, because we're still waiting to see how Mercy changes. And I do think it's... If the Mercy nerf is effective, then the Ana buff will be effective. And we'll have a lot of Ana again. But also, people have got a new toy in Moira. And...
Yeah, so that's going to go in a huge amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, we are waiting to see how Res fits in now.
Yeah. And I've noticed a lot of people are still playing Mercy. But there's a lot of Mercy saying, don't Rambo it.
Yes. Well, what I'm wondering if it's going to, like, Mercy's still going to be super strong, but, like, what she can't do is pick up that person on the flank, because then she's away from...
I think she is still super strong. I think she's just not fucking nuts, you know?
Yeah.
That's okay.
We'll see how it works out. Like, that ability to bring back a pick. But
yeah.
Here's another one of my concerns. Moira is a super anti-flanker right now, because she doesn't have to aim as hard.
Yep.
And she has that crazy orb.
Yeah, which a Tracer's coming at you, you just orb her.
Tracer, Genji, you really can't do much. Because between the two of those, you die very quickly. So what I'm wondering is, like, if flankers are just going to get, like, pushed out of the meta, and even more so if Mercy is still strong, because Mercy punishes flankers getting picks.
Oh, flankers getting picked, you mean?
No, getting picks. So, like, if you're a Genji or a Tracer and you get into the back line and pick off the Moira, for example, then the Mercy, because it's not a battle res, can still make that res happen, and then the flanker is out of position. Whereas if you kill somebody who's, like, frontline, the Mercy may not be able to get the res off.
And in fact, it works the other way as well, because if your flankers are going into the enemy and they get counterpicked, then there's no way you can res them. So I think it all looks to me like Deathball is going to be back in a big way. Yeah,
we're probably going to see a lot of Soldier. We're probably going to see quite a bit of Hog, actually. We're probably going to see more Ryan as well, because of the crazy heals. Like, and the ability for Ryan to just get in there.
Oh, I'm down for that. We'll see. Okay, so talking of tanks, the Winston buff, which I'm actually loving right now.
It's not really a buff.
It really is.
Okay.
You can see how much health your shield has. That just gives you a ton more information with which to play Winston.
Okay.
It's really useful. It's a huge buff.
I totally agree that it's... Okay, you know what? It is more information. It is straight up better. It is a buff. I'm with you.
It really helps you play Winston.
Cool. Yeah, no, so basically Winston now, his barrier displays a health bar.
Yeah, which is super neat.
Should have been in the game from the beginning.
Yeah, maybe. I'll go with that.
I think does Orisa have... Yes, she does, doesn't she?
Yeah, all the other shield tanks do.
So Winston should have as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Other things, this won't affect very many people at all, but Grandmaster players can now only group with players within 250 skill rating.
Now, we've felt the pain of not being able to play with friends.
Yes, it sucks when one of you just gets into Masters and then suddenly you can't play together, and then there's this dance of going in and out of Masters and being able to play together, not being able to play together, and it's a massive pain.
It is a massive pain, but I think overall it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, they're trying to make games better, so...
Yeah.
That seems to be what the community is saying they want. Maybe if there is an uproar about people not being able to play with their friends at some point, then this will go the other way, but I'm not sure I see that happening.
I think that people may... Yeah, I mean, I think they're probably willing to change it if it becomes a real problem, but I think that so many Grandmasters have complained about not being able to get good games that it's like... Let's fix this pain point. This is the easiest fix we can do right now.
I think the only other big thing in here is leave as group being on as default.
No, it's not on as default. It remembers your last setting.
Oh, that's what's happening. Okay, sure.
So if you're usually leaving as a group, it will continue to leave you as a group. If you stop leaving as a group, it'll stop leaving you as a group. It's up to you.
But why the hell would you not want to leave as a group if you're the goddamn group leader?
Salty and tired of your team.
Yeah, I guess. But then you can just, like, throw leadership to someone else.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, is that all the exciting stuff from the update?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Now, do we want to leave the one-trick discussion for now, or do we want to leave it till the end of the podcast where we can ramble until we're running out of time?
Well, I feel like we should have something in between that and the end. Because that might be we need a cat in the tree story, right?
Money off so you can buy alt accounts.
Perfect.
That's the cat in the tree story.
Sweet,
okay,
nice.
Fantastic. Then next we are on to the Dennis Howelka Award.
Yes. So this is an actual Blizzard award for people who play in the Overwatch League, remembering the Internet Hulk, Dennis Howelka. And what the award is actually for is really quite touching, because it's not for like the best player or, you know, who gets the biggest team kill ever, somehow kills 11 of them. I have no idea. It is it's for the player they deem to have had the most positive impact on the community. And that's just lovely because, like, that is what Dennis Howelka really did. He was trying to, like, build community, and he actually had a very positive effect on a lot of people's lives. So I think it's a very fitting award.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome, right?
I'm really, really happy with it.
And this is not the only thing that Blizzard have done this week to honour Internet Hulk.
No, they also put a little in-game memorial to Internet Hulk on Eichenwald.
Yeah.
It's not easy to explain. It's a little decal in the first spawn for the attackers on Eichenwald on the left-hand side. It is on the Crusader poster, and it is like a little cross, a little plus sign. Top left is a heart, top right is an I, bottom left is a D, and bottom right is an H. So down the right side it goes IH, which is Internet Hulk, and then along the bottom it goes DH, which is Dennis Howelka. And it's got a little candle and a flower.
Which is kind of neat.
It's very lovely.
I can imagine before games on Eichenwald using the Reinhardt sit emote to kneel before the shrine.
Absolutely.
Power myself up before the fight.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. Speaking of Eichenwald, there is also a developer commentary for Honor and Glory.
Yes. There's not really much new information here.
No. Although, watching it, it did make me think, like, they use the map really weirdly.
Oh, there was something I noticed about, like, how they all run across a bridge and then suddenly they're all gone.
Yep. Okay, so what happens, and because they just use the kind of second stage of Eichenwald almost exclusively, and they start with the archway that you go through to get to the bridge with the cart. They charge through there. Reinhardt then charges across the bridge, and once he's gone across the bridge, he's then turning and coming back through that archway.
And everyone's gone.
Absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I get what they're doing. They're just using kind of like bits of the level as kind of scenery. But I found it, once I'd noticed it, I couldn't unnotice it. And I found it very disorientating.
Yeah, I just feel like they should have had it in a slightly different part of the level.
Yeah, they could have used the first section. And
exactly.
You know.
Like, there was just no good reason for them not to.
Maybe it was just the cleanest part of the level and it just made sense.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah. Go watch it if you enjoy that sort of thing. I particularly feel it added to my enjoyment of the short.
No, but, you know, it was kind of interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, Overwatch has won multiple joystick awards. Now,
joystick awards are, well, like any awards, they're relatively meaningless, but Overwatch came away with 3 awards. Well, sort of, 2.5. So an Overwatch team got Team of the Year, which is Lunatic High, that's the esports Team of the Year.
Yep.
And Agility's got Esports Play of the Year, which is kind of cool. And Overwatch won Game of the Year 2017. There's not really much else to say about it, except...
Do we know what the play was?
Yes. Basically, it is a Genji play where he gets a full 6k on a very silly grouped up team featuring Numlocked. I can't remember who the team was, but...
Is it Envious with Numlocked? I can't remember.
No. Numlocked was... Agilities gets all the kills. Numlocked was on the team that got
he was on
killed.
Right, okay. Got you.
Yeah. But it's the kind of play that every Genji dreams of.
Okay.
Just slicing everyone up.
I like the idea that there's not just a play of the game, there's a play of the year. Yes.
Like, overall games, what is the best play?
I feel that should be like some kind of intro on when you open up Overwatch.
Well, that one, for the first time, you get to see
Yeah,
agility is just massacring an entire professional team.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Okay, make that happen, Blizzard.
Sweet.
That's never going to happen. Okay, should we do it?
Yeah,
Is it
we
time
should.
for the discussion.
We have to talk about it.
Okay.
I feel like we've avoided it before.
Really? No, we've discussed one tricks before,
We
surely.
have, I suppose. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so the reason that the conversation with one tricks came to light this week in a major way is because two notable one tricks got suspended.
Yes, and a third has been added to that list.
And when they were originally complaining to someone in Blizzard, a games master, as it were, they kind of said, well, they didn't say it quite explicitly, but it basically sounded like they were banned for one tricking.
Yes.
Now, this has now been cleared up that that's not quite the case.
No. But it's been a sticking point for a while in the community. And at some stage, I suppose we should just kind of have a proper conversation about it because it affects everyone.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so first up, I am going to state categorically, I have no problem with one tricking.
Okay, do you have no problem with one tricking as a general concept or the reality?
Both.
Okay.
I actually don't think it's that bad.
I mostly agree.
Okay, so here's a big issue that people have with one tricking. It's the idea that it makes your games harder. And I'm going to throw out there that a lot of the time it doesn't. Like, I quite enjoy when you get a one trick on your team. Like, what I dislike is when someone's playing an off-meta hero and they have no hours in that hero. If someone is playing an off-meta hero and all of their hours are in that hero, I'm stoked for the game because I get to play a different game to what I normally play, and I get to think about new tactics. I get to think about the game in a different way. And honestly, if someone is doing like an off-meta hero, but they've got really good at it, then they can pretty much do as well as, you know, like a regular player.
Here is my counter to that argument, which is that one tricking is extraordinarily selfish because in order to best play with a one trick, you have to form your team composition around that one trick.
Yes.
And what you're essentially doing is asking 5 players to put down their game and play your game. And sometimes you may be up for that, but sometimes you may not. And sometimes you may simply not have a hero in the character pool that synergizes well. And sometimes that hero is just not as good on a specific map. And so, my problem with one tricking is essentially it is one person saying to an entire team, fuck you, I'm playing the game my way, whether you like it or not. And you know what? I
Doesn't
don't
that
mind.
happen in almost every game you play? I mean, I'm just going to throw out there that, like, in those games where you end up with one healer, where it'd be clearly better with 2 healers.
Oh, absolutely.
Every single one of those games, it's not just one person that's done that. Like, 5 people have done that.
I do agree. However, it's you're asking more people to play around your way, if that makes sense.
Well, yes and no. I mean, if they want to win, then yes, they do need to do that. But here's the other thing. If someone has like 1,000 hours in Torb and no hours in anything else, do you want them to play anything but Torb? They're going to be crap. If you want them to like play in the way that gives them the best chance of winning,
but that's
like, are you saying that like in the past, putting all those hours into learning Torb is the selfish thing, and where we are now, like,
but that's a choice that they've made, right? Like, you don't get the choice whether to play with that person or not. Like, they made the choice, I'm going to only play Torbjorn. It's not like you can go and say, well, you know, I'm going to play with, well, I suppose you could actually just 6-stack all the time, but that's your only other option.
Let me give you a counter argument. Let's say that there's someone on your team who has mained Torbjorn, right? But then the game that they're in with you, the one game on ladder that you'll ever play with them, they're like, I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to try and play with the meta and play with my team. and they're a shitter. They lose every fight because they don't know how to play another character. Would that make you more happy?
I mean, maybe not short term, but maybe long term, it may be better for the health of the game.
I don't know. You see, I think there's a massive danger here in like saying what people, like prescribing what way people should play the game.
I totally agree with that. I absolutely 100% agree that telling people essentially how they should play the game is a dangerous precedent to set, and it is not. Is probably not going to solve the problem. So I'm, this is why I'm sort of like, I'm in a weird place with this discussion, because what I am feeling is just how selfish it can be of people.
I find it much more selfish when, like, say you're defending on first point of King's Row and someone picks Widow. Like,
but you could be a one-trick Widow.
That's fine, but even if they're not a one-trick Widow, if they just pick Widow. So if we're going to say that you can't one-trick because it's selfish, I would counter that playing Widow on defense in King's Row is equally selfish, even if you're not a one-trick Widow. And if we're going to ban people doing selfish things, then we should definitely ban Widow on defense on the first point of King's Row. You see what I'm saying?
So, no. Because it's because, like, what you're talking about is a specific instance in a specific area doing a specific thing.
Right.
And that will potentially, like, the amount of times that happens is relatively low in terms of, like, the amount of people that affects. However, what ends up happening with one tricks is you're always, like, every game that person plays, every single game, they are asking every one of their teammates to play around their pick. Every game. Like, it's not, I think that I will do well, as a defensive Widow on this one map.
Right.
And, like, you can be wrong about that, but still have essentially this idea of, I think I can do particularly well.
What you're saying is, it's not like, you're not saying the base premise is we should not allow selfish play. You're saying we should not allow selfish play over a set period of time.
I think over, like, I don't think you should be, I think if someone is being selfish literally every single game, it's...
But doesn't half the user base do that playing DPS? Like, if someone, like, only plays DPS, and, well, we know there's more DPS in the community than there are tanks and supports, aren't they being equally selfish? Because they're forcing every game, well, in a large amount of games, they're forcing people who don't want to play support to play support, or don't want to play tank to play tank.
I do think that it is a problem in the community that people restrict themselves to playing, just DPS, just tank, and just healer. Because I do think it's also... Well,
if we're talking about how selfish people are and, like, how much they're forcing other people to, like, change their picks to them, I'd say people who play DPS are much worse, right, by those criteria, because there is more DPS in the community.
Generally, DPS are more flexible overall, because you don't necessarily need... Like, if you're playing Soldier, you don't need your entire team to play around them having a Soldier.
Right, but if you've already got 2 DPS and you pick Soldier, or if you've already got 3 DPS in your team and you pick Soldier...
I would totally say that person is is definitely being selfish.
Right. But, I don't know.
And, like, I'm not saying that I have an answer, or, like, that I've even fully finished and formed my opinion, but the position that I've arrived at in regards to one tricks is they are being selfish, and their selfishness affects, let's say it's not every game, but let's say it's like 90% of the games.
Right.
And I'm just like, with people who play DPS, it probably doesn't affect 90% of their games in the same manner of...
I'm going to remind this to every flex player I talk to who, like, had to main Mercy last season, because that's just what they ended up doing if you're a flex player. Here's my thing. If they banned one-tricking, I wouldn't mind, but all I want them to do is be consistent. And for being consistent within your framework, you're saying if people are selfish to a certain extent, that is bad. Now, I'm saying that kind of selfishness appears in many, many other facets of Overwatch other than one-tricking. And if we're going to say we're going to stop one-tricks from doing that, then we have to stop all the other instances of that for it to be fair.
Not an unfair comment. And I don't know how you go about doing that. I'm just saying, like, that's where I'm currently arriving.
Also, hell, here's one thing, right? If there was a choice between, say, a one-trick or a no-mic, I will take the one-trick every day of the week, especially if they just talk and they're just friendly. Like, at that point, I don't give a damn. They could be playing anything. As long as they talk and friendly and they're willing to engage.
Yeah, no, fair.
Right? So, okay, we've got, like, no mics I have more of a problem with. Let's also get just salty people.
Yep.
Like, I'd rather have, like, a positive one-trick than a salty motherfucker any day of the week. Like, you see, here's the thing. Like, I get that one-tricks is a bit of a thing, and it makes the game worse by a little bit. But from my perspective, there's so many other things that are rampant in this game that, like, one-tricking is, like, it's such a low-level, like, issue for me. It's like,
I think part of the problem, one of the reasons it's so highlighted, is that it's so much easier to identify for other people, if that makes sense. Like, when people have, like, 3 or 4 DPS, like, yeah, you have 3 or 4 DPS, but, like, who's the bad guy in that situation, you know? Who's the one that's, because if you've got 4 people who do all main DPS, well, it's not like, having a DPS on your team is difficult to play around. But having, an off-meta one-trick that you have to play around, and you don't usually play with them, and it's just like, I can see how people latch onto that more easily. And because it is just so much more easy to identify.
I'm going to throw out there another thing that I hate so much more than one-tricks. People who shit the bed about one-tricks. Like, I've had people literally throw games and, like, not right. When, like, someone's playing a one-trick and they've got all their hours in that, and someone else goes, oh, well, if you're going to play that, I'll play Bastion. And they've never played Bastion before. And you're like, are you serious? Like, I hate that so much more.
I agree. There are other really bad things that doesn't stop one-tracking necessarily being selfish and problematic.
I think it's selfish. I think it being problematic. I don't know. Like, I think it's just, it's also such a rare problem. Like, the amount of one-tricks I bump into is so slim. Like, how many games have I seen a one-trick in, like, recently? I can't actually remember the last time I've seen a game with one in.
I think people higher up experience it more in some ways.
Because there's a much smaller player pool.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things of, if you've got, like, because you can just count on this list, like, if you've got 3 top 500s who are all, let's say, like, there are 10 one-tricks in the top 500s who play regularly. Then
you're going to count on them a lot. But I'd say that's massively inflating the problem. Like, here's my thing here. I don't want developer hours spent on something which, if people think it's a problem, it's not a problem. Like, it's such a small thing. It's like, what can I equate it to? It's like people, like, banging on about immigration, when immigration is, like, positive for the economy, actually. But people are like, oh, but it gets my goat, it gets my blood going. I'm like, but I want evidence. Like, show me how, like, these things you're doing are going to actually make my experience better. And I'm going to throw it out there. I think if Blizzard spend however many hours looking at the one-trick problem, I think that's hours wasted. That's hours they could spend on, trying to sort out saltiness a bit better. It's hours they could spend on working out how to do the queue a bit better. It's hours they could spend on, making sure that you don't get people who, like, play maximum hours on the same hero and the same thing, but in a good way, because that's another thing that was coming up in topic. Like, it just seems like there's so many bigger things to work on that I don't want this issue getting conflated.
That's fair. Absolutely. I don't disagree with any of it.
Although, I mean, to play devil's advocate against that, there is the idea of, though, like, if, like, people are getting all het up about one tricks and it is making them all salty, then whether it's, like, right or wrong, that is an issue for those people. So, maybe.
I mean, the other thing that I said to myself at one stage, correctly or incorrectly, I haven't decided, but, like, you know, if 70% of the player base dislike the state that Mercy is in, should Blizzard not change Mercy?
Yeah.
And, like, you know, if one trick's I think the problem with Mercy is that it's affecting so many more people. You know, because we had Mercy literally every game.
Would like a placebo work? Like, because here's the thing, like, I don't think people are actually getting that wound up about one tricks. I think they're getting wound up about the idea of one tricks.
Yes.
You see what I mean there?
I wonder if showing competitive hours is actually a bad thing.
It's good and bad. I mean,
well, like, it's one of those things of people shit the bed if you haven't played a certain amount of hours on a certain hero.
Yes,
but you can't get any. But you can't get any better at that hero unless you don't play them, and that's a problem. And maybe one of the solutions to this is to take away the hours.
This is like the thing where people think they want more information, it'll make them happier, but it doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you this is kind of nichely related, but have you seen all those studies into how choice makes people less happy, but everyone thinks they want more choice?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, like, I really have. The one that I got was a choice of cereals and, like, choice paralysis.
Yeah.
Like,
there was sorry, go on.
No, you go, please.
Oh, sorry. This is just there was an interesting one to do with art prints where they gave a load of people got people a choice of 5 art prints, and they could choose one. They'd take it home and they'd rate how happy they are with their choice, like in a couple of weeks' time or something. And a load of people just picked their, like, art print, and that was it. Once they picked it, they were done with it. And then a load of people picked their art print, they could have it for a week, and after 1 week, they could go back and change it for a different one and have that for the second week. And all the people who got the option to change their work of art after 1 week and have one for the second week, no matter whether they kept the first one or if they changed it, they were across the board unhappier with their decision than the people who picked once and that was it.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
Like, people don't, but here's the other thing. In that particular case, when people are asked which group would you rather be part of, pick one and you're done, or pick one, have it for a bit and then change it, everyone thought that they'd be happier with the options change. And people weren't. They were happier without the options change. So people were actively making themselves less happy when they were trying to make themselves more happy. So with stuff like this, I'm very wary of letting people have what they want all the time, because people want things which are bad for them.
And I think that is probably about where I'd leave this discussion.
We need a benevolent dictatorship, Grey. Unfortunately, with Blizzard, that's kind of what we have, right?
It is actually kind of what we have. Yeah. The good thing is that we can leave this dictatorship if we don't like it anymore.
Play a different game?
Yeah, just play a different game. Whereas with other dictatorships, you may not be able to leave.
Yes.
I suppose that is part of the benevolence of the dictatorship.
I mean, you can like run into South Korea, but it's just a bit dangerous. Yeah. Anyway, our cat in a tree story, just to finish this off because we are running towards our time limit. Black Friday sale, 50% off on Overwatch. So I would say there's going to be a couple of people who are going to buy Overwatch, and then mostly people are going to buy alt accounts.
Yes, pretty much.
But, you know, if this keeps my game free,
I was going to say,
the updates and such, I'm happy for people to do that.
I have no problem with Smurfs. But I mean, I mostly have no problem with Smurfs.
That is a whole new conversation. Let's save that for another time.
I have no problem with the concept of Smurfs.
I'd say Smurfs are like, I don't know.
Are like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get.
I'd say life is like a box of chocolates. They can be good or bad.
Depends where you bought the chocolates.
Oh, it depends if there's coffee creams. I hate coffee creams. Like, I love coffee, but Jesus, coffee creams are bad chocolates. And my opinion is so strong about that, I'm going to state it as a factual thing.
Okay, well, I've been Grey.
And I've been Ruskeydoo.
And I'm not having any coffee creams either. Thanks.
Good. Excellent. We'll see you next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.